Hello students, we are having a very special program on CCR TV. For those of you who are currently in the 10th standard, who have just appeared for your exams in the 10th standard and are looking for what to do next. Our program today will help you to decide which is the best career option for you. So, what are the options available for young people like you today in our higher secondary schools? You have 6 choices: vocational, polytechnic, ITI, the normal higher secondary which teaches you science, commerce and arts. So these are the 6 choices you have. So let us go on these one by one. But remember, the first thing we all must do, we all have been created by God, and God has a plan for each of us. If you go to our Bible, in Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11 to 13, the words are very clear. God says, "I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you, plans to give you hope and a future. Call on me and pray to me, and I will listen to you. Seek me, and you will find me." So the Bible is very, very clear on what are the options. Now, students will normally always look at the money. What is the money available if I do this, if I do that, etc., etc. Just to give you an idea of what money is all about in this business of selecting a career, I've just given you a rough idea of what happens. If you are an MBA and an IIT graduate, you have a chance to become the CEO of a company. The CEO means the Chief Executive Officer. And that salary is around about 10 lakhs per month. So if you go down the scale, you see a general manager who's also got the similar qualifications, getting between 4 to 6 lakhs per month plus. And you go still further down, you have a manager, you have an officer, you have a supervisor, you have a senior assistant, and junior assistant. Look at the screen on the left. You will see the qualifications that are needed, and on the right, the money you will obtain. But I don't want you to concentrate so much on the money. I want you to concentrate on what is the best thing to do to choose a career. There are 2 things that are very, very important when you decide on what career is best for you. What are your interests and what are your abilities? You may be very interested to see somebody swim, somebody doing very well on a cycle. But do you have the ability to do well yourself on a cycle? So there are 2 things. One is interest, and the second is the ability. Interest by itself is not enough. You must have the ability. There are many students who are told by seniors, if you score anything over 60%, straight away go for science. Well, science is a very, very good option. But you must remember that if you don't have the ability at a higher level in science, then it is just not the right thing for you. You may have the interest to become an engineer, but do you have the ability to cope with maths, physics, and chemistry? So if you really, really enjoy maths, physics, and chemistry, or maths, or physics, chemistry, and biology, then by all means go for science. So what happens to commerce and the other areas? If you like business, if you like to do calculations, you like to do data analysis, go for commerce. Because in commerce, it encourages people who have abilities in analyzing figures and helping the company to do the right thing. That is meant for commerce people. What about arts? If you like teaching, if you like writing, if you like debating, if you like human behavior, if you like politics, go for arts. So who should go for vocational and ITI then? If you like a technical field, and wish to start working soon or start your own business, go for vocational or ITI. You could still continue further studies later if you change your mind. But that's what is known as vertical mobility. You can go up the other way, the higher way. There's tremendous scope due to shortage of skilled people today. So let's look at this one by one and see where you stand. So let's start with arts. If you start with arts, you can see there a teacher, you can see there a musician, and you can see there a politician, and you also see the symbol of an advocate. Okay, these are the choices you have in arts. So one can choose law, one can go for journalism. Now remember, in journalism, there are two branches. One is the newspaper branch or the magazines, and the other is the electronic branch where you go on TV. So journalism has two parts. You can go for events management. You can also go for advertising, copywriting, PR, etc. You can go for teaching. You can go for languages. There's tremendous scope for languages today. See the way countries are growing like China and the Arab world. So if you know Arabic, you know Chinese, you know German, you can do very, very well there. Then there is drama, music, and dance. Remember, today a lot of people enjoy a little bit of, let us say, relaxation in the evenings or on the weekends. So if you're good in drama, or you like music, or you like dance, there's tremendous scope in that. Then we have the IAS, IPS, and IRS programs. What is this IAS and IPS? These are the bureaucrats that in fact run the country. They advise the politicians what is the right thing to do. So if you feel that you are in that area where you can really, really understand the country and advise the people in parliament to do this or that or the right thing, go for IAS. The good news is that Don Bosco's in Panjim today has an IAS, IFS training program. Mind you, it is tough. IAS, IFS, IPS is very, very tough. So those who are in the bracket of 60% and above, I would think that they should consider this particular career. Then there is library science, there is hotel management, there is defense, there is mass communications. Furthermore, in arts, there are still more opportunities. You can go for social work, you can go for management, you can go for research, you can go for your own business, you can go for insurance, there is home science, there is banking, there is art, and there is psychology, or you can become a psychologist. So you see the number of choices one has in arts alone. So people who say arts is only meant for duffers, forget about it. It's not true. There is tremendous scope, and if you have the passion to do something really, really special, think about arts. I'll give you some more examples of what you can do in arts. You can go for the catering and hospitality program. Our Goa University has started for the first time an MBA in tourism and hospitality. That means straight away after the 12th, you can go do your MBA, which gives you 2 degrees. It's a double degree program, okay? Then you have animation and graphics. Nowadays, who doesn't want to see some nice programs on TV showing all these things that they do on TV nowadays, okay? You can go for a job of an air hostess. You can go for ground jobs at the airport. You can also become a PE teacher. So these are the options you have in arts. Let's go now and see what's happening in commerce. In commerce, you can choose to become a chartered accountant. You can again choose to become an IAS or IRS or an IFS officer. You can ultimately go for your MBA. You can go for law. You can go for actuary. You can go for cost management accountant, CMA. You can go for financial analyst. You can become a company secretary, and even you can do forensics. Let me concentrate on 2 of those areas that you can see on the screen: actuary and forensics. What is this thing called actuary? What's it all about? Actuary is the top job in the insurance world. So If you become an actuary, you sit in the corner office and you decide what are the various insurance policies that would suit the people in India today. Do you know that the population of India is 1.25 crores? So, with that kind of population, you have levels. You have the migrant labor, the unskilled, the semi-skilled, skilled, you have the pro-professionals, going to be professionals, etc., etc. So the actuary decides which kind of policy will fit which, because depending on the income they get. And then the people who are down the line promote these LIC policies or max life policies, etc., etc. So, but actually you require to be very, very strong in maths, and you can be BCom accountant and then go for an actuary. The big institute in India that does actuary is in Hyderabad. Then I'm talking about forensics. You always thought forensics was a medical field, isn't it? Well, you'll be shocked to know that there is a very, very strong upcoming field in forensics. Why? Because nowadays, with computers being what it is, you have the situation where people get into your system and they do the things that they are not supposed to do. So forensics is the one that finds out what is wrong, where it cannot be hacked, or if it is hacked, how to repair the hack, and who has done it. So forensics has become a very, very important subject in commerce today. So if you are one of those people who are very strong investigators, who want to find out who is doing all this mischief, get into forensics. Okay, so this is where you will learn what to do in forensic science. Then you have careers in market research. Companies appoint people in market research to find out how their product is faring. Is it selling well? Where is it selling? Is the price right? What is the competition? Etc., etc. So again, if you're a good investigator, you can consider market research. Then there is, of course, finance, insurance, tax management, teaching, share markets, defense, banking, and retail. Let me touch on share markets. You know, nowadays with the COVID-19 going on, most of the share business has gone down. Why? Because people are not certain what's going to be the future. So share markets are people who advise people like you and me as to which share to buy and how many shares to buy and how long you should keep it and when to sell and when not to sell. So again, if you're got a business mind and you're good in finance, share markets is a good place to start. Okay. Then there is, of course, defense, banking, and retail. In banking, you have what is known as in the government banks, a test called probationary officer's test. So if you pass the test at the 12th or even at graduation level, you can become straight away an assistant officer in the bank or a probationary officer. So if you think that banking is a good thing, and it is a good thing, think about going in for that probationary officer's test. Remember one thing, that many of these things, the details, the information is available on Google. Go to the Google website and just press banking or share markets or teaching or whatever. Say, how do I know more about banking? Or how do I know more about insurance? Google gives you a list of lots of websites where they teach you how to do banking or teach you what banking is all about. And the other thing is, while I'm at this subject, remember that today, if you're not in school, because schools are closed for the reasons we all know, you might want to consider how to start studying the subject that you are interested in. You will see websites giving free coaching in the subject you like. Okay, there, for example, there is Udemy, there's Coursera, there is MIT, there is Allison. These are the free websites which are available to you, and even if you have to pay a small pittance of say 500 or 1000 rupees, you get a certificate with it. So think about commerce and think about doing it now when you have nothing to do, and start studying in the subject you have a passion for. Let's go to management. So after you do your BCom, what do I do next? Many students today opt for CA or opt for MBA. If you go for CA, you become a chartered accountant, and the job of a chartered accountant is basically either two things. One is look after the audit side of the business, or two, look after the balance sheet of the business. It is a very thorough subject, and you are accountable not only to the company but to the government. So chartered accountant is quite tough, and it takes a good 5 years to become a chartered accountant. But on the same level, you have nowadays the MBA. Now MBA has got, in Goa we have a GIM, Goa Institute of Management. They have 4 choices you can have. You can do human resources, you can go for sales and marketing, you can go for finance, you can go for data analytics. Let me briefly touch on each of these 4 areas so that you have a little bit of understanding what it is all about. Human resources basically is looking after the people in the company. You recruit the people, you make sure the people stay in the company, you make sure they get the right promotions at the right time, you make sure the salaries are right, and you make sure their performance is well looked after. So human resources is a subject where you deal with human beings. You deal with your staff, deal with the 1,000 people or 2,000 people in your company. So it's a very big job, very responsible job, but ultimately it's the one that you look after people. Sales and marketing, on the other hand, looks after the product that you have manufactured and how to sell it to make sure that you make enough profits. So you learn all about sales and marketing. Finance is the one that decides how much should the product cost. Having manufactured the product, you've seen the raw materials, you've seen how much labor is involved, how much electricity and other things are used, and then you put a cost to that particular item, but knowing full well that you have competition and you have to compete with other people. And then you have data analytics. Nowadays, data analytics has become a huge subject. The governments all over the world are using data analysis to find out what to do here and what to do there. I'm sure our own government will be looking at migrant labor very seriously in the next few years, because what they can do and to avoid the disaster that has happened when the lockdown was announced. Okay, so this is management for you in the 4 things. You of course naturally have to pass an entrance test, which is called CAT or ZAT. CAT is a common admission test, and ZAT is a Xavier admission test. Both are tough, but then you want to go high in life, you got to face the tough thing now. All right, so let us see what we have next for you. You see, the moment you get into the 11th standard, there are many students who think that I have gone through a very troublesome period trying to master my 10th standard. The 11th standard, there is no board exam or anything like that. So students tend to take it easy in the 11th standard. 11th standard, my dear students, is not a picnic. So don't mess around by thinking that, oh, I'll take it easy and make up in the 12th. You will not be able to make up. And if you had the ambition to do your chartered accountancy or law or MBA or whatever, your percentages will fall down considerably and you lose out. So be careful. 9th, 11th standard is not a picnic. Let's go to the next career choice, is vocational. What happens in vocational? In vocational, you have again many choices. Okay, you can go for the Tata Institute of Social Sciences, which has a vocational program in education. You can go in hotel management, doing your hotel management program there. Remember, even if you have done vocational in hotel management and you have finished your 12th standard, the Goa University will be happy to welcome you for their MBA program in tourism and hotel management. So vocational is not just something that is to be taken down easily. They also have a program in pharmaceutical management. Both of these programs are offered at the Padma Agner Institute in Verna. In Chogle College in Margao, they have many wonderful programs meant for young people who are not too sure what to do but have a particular interest in something. So they teach you contemporary dance, sound engineering, photography, multimedia and digital film making, drawing and painting, and digital marketing. One might just ask, what is this thing called digital marketing? Well, all of us have gone to the websites of Amazon.com or Amazon.in and Flipkart, etc., trying to buy things. But you'll see there that there are a lot of companies advertise their product there. Okay, that is digital marketing. You also see on the TV, as soon as the news is over, that a lot of companies are advertising their cars and perfumes and whatnot. That is all digital marketing. So if you are a business person or want to help a business to go further, go for digital marketing. Sound engineering is meant for those who like to get into the sound business. That means if there is a huge outdoor program, you will learn how to manage that sound for an outdoor situation. If it's in a big auditorium, you know how to manage sound in an indoor situation. Digital film making has also become very, very big nowadays, and you might, if you're interested in computers, think about going in that direction. So that is vocational in Chogle College in Margao. Now we have the government vocational program, which has these programs: the industrial management program, the computer software application, fashion designing, commercial garment designing, and marketing. So you can choose one of these in the government institutes. We also have in the technical side, maintenance repair, electrician and electronic appliances, horticulture, floriculture, and auto engineering. Auto engineering is a big thing. Of course, these days the auto engineering business is down because of the COVID, but mind you, almost every family in the middle class and above has a car today. Or if they don't have a car, at least they have a scooter. So there's a lot of business available in the auto engineering, a lot of careers available there. Floriculture is all about flowers and landscaping. You see hotels all having a beautiful landscape with beautiful flowers. If you take that up, you learn how to manage flowers in a big hotel or in a big area where there is scope for a park or something like that, and you can do very well there. Maintenance repair is something that is very, very important, because nowadays with mobiles down and our telephone system down, etc., you can have a lot of work to do in the maintenance business. Also, as I already said, you can do your BBA, MBA after you finish your 12th standard in hospitality and catering. Vocational also has got office kind of training. They teach you how to be an office secretary and a stenographer. They teach you how to do accountancy and auditing. They teach you basic marketing and salesmanship, and also insurance. Now, you must remember, generally there are 4 levels of engineering. The ITI is the basic level, then you have the diploma, then you have BSc electronics, and then you have the BE degree. So depending on where you are, you can choose. Right, so that is the first part of our program. The second part will go to science, and we will do that in our second edition. Thank you very much for your listening. Let me please remind you one more time. Make sure your activities and interest match. Okay, this must match. You must like to do what you want to do. Okay. 2, please go to the people who are doing what you like to do. Suppose you want to be an engineer, go and talk to an engineer. Ask him what it is all about, how it is, what happens, etc. If you want to go to journalism, ask him how to write in a newspaper or how to be on TV and how to make programs on TV, etc. So these are the various things you must do. Pray about it. Ask God to guide you and help you. Talk to your parents about it, the cost factor. Talk to your teachers about it, and go to Google and find out much more about the particular subject you want, so that ultimately you choose something that will not only make you happy, but you will feel like, yes, I want to go to work today. Or you don't want to, if you don't want to go to work on any particular day, it is because you don't have the passion for it. You must enjoy your work and make it a very, very useful thing for yourself so that your life becomes a very happy life. Thank you very much and all the best.
Thank you.